Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here, the Rosa String Works Workshop. On the wood side today, Studio W. Got a problem here with the table saw. This handle, you can see here, is stripped out and it won't stay on the adjustment here and it just falls off. So we're going to have to go to the Studio M, the metalworking side, and see if we can't figure out a way to fix this. So the first thing I'm going to do is at least attempt to remove this piece here, and I think we can do that. Yeah, there you go. So we can just take these two parts into the metal shop and see if we can't reunite them. Well, this is going to be my first attempt, and yeah, I don't know. If we ruin this piece, it's not the end of the world. I can make something new that'll probably be better than this piece of junk anyway. Just going to go for it, see what happens. I'm basically drilling a hole in here to the proper size so that I can thread it with a 5/8 11, which will be my sleeve. Anyway, we'll show you how that goes as we get into it. Alright, so here we go. It's basically a type of a hard plastic and smells like crap. Probably should have had a mask on for that. So here's what that looks like. You can see there's a hole in there, and basically I want to thread a bolt like this in there. Then I'm going to Loctite it in there, and I'm going to be drilling a hole through this. I'll do that before I Loctite it in there. I'll drill a hole through this and tap it to make it fit the threads of this. Anyway, that's the plan. Quite honestly, I don't know if it's going to work because this stuff here could crack and break. It's possible. We'll just wait and see. I mean, that's all we can do, and if it don't work, we'll just make something totally from scratch. And I don't know how to hardly hold this thing. Maybe I can try that other vise. This little vise has a slight V in it, which helps a little bit. Tighten that down and try to get it relatively straight up and down. I actually think my hole's straighter than the hole that was in it before, because that hole was way off center. Mine looks pretty centered now. And I have my tap, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this just doesn't break all the pieces. And I don't even know if this tap handle will fit in on this tap. This is a large tap, and I don't have a big handle actually. So nothing simple. Maybe this will get big enough to fit this. I don't know. Yeah, it does. And this is a ratchet type deal. Alright, we'll see if this is going to work. And honestly, your guess is as good as mine. I would think this is going to bust. I'm going to back it up a lot so that it doesn't just keep forcing itself down in there. It's working so far. Yeah, I don't even know what I would lubricate this with. I don't know if I should even lubricate it since I want to glue that piece in there. It looks like it's working. I'm going to just see if the bolt will start in there. Yeah, I think it's going to work. At least it looks like it is so far. I'm just going to take my time because I think if you speed up on something like this or try to take shortcuts, you're just going to have a problem. I'm going to lock this vise down because it's moving too much. And I put a C-clamp on it right here to try to hold the vise still.
My sweet Miranda of the mountain, I recall.
It's really tight. It shouldn't be this tight feeling, I don't think. Threads look good on 3 sides, and one side is not very deep, but I guess it'll work. Yeah, it's working. What I want to do is have this go all the way in, bottom out. Now, we'll take a little break here. I'm going to go to lunch and do a vlog and some of those kinds of things, and then we'll come back to this and see if we can get a hole drilled in the center of this and thread it for millimeter type threads. I'm sure they are metric threads. They're not going to be SAE threads. That's okay. It looks like we did a good job there. I don't know if you can see down in there and see the threads, but there are threads there. I know the lighting's not very good. Sorry. Well, for the uninitiated, in case you're trying to figure out how to do threads, I have this little gadget here. This one, the black one is metric, the silver one is SAE, and you can just run your, whatever it is you're looking for, you just find the right one, and then it'll tell you on the side here what it is. And in this case, it's really hard to read. It's black on black, and I can't see anyway. So let me get the close-up glasses here, that way I won't make a mistake. It's an M10 by 1.5. M10 by 1.5. So that's what we're going to find. We're going to find the tap, and we're going to drill a hole in this and tap this. Here's my metric. Everything's got dust all over it from this cutting so much wood in here. Now the problem is, and I'm sure there's a method to know, but I don't know what size drill I need to use for this. So here's a 10 by 1.5 right here. 10 by 1.5. So another way you can also make sure your threads match is to lay it on there like that, and they should sync up. And these do, so it should be fine. Anyway, we're going to get this chucked up in the lathe, drill a hole through it, cut threads for this, and then we're going to cut this off, insert it in here and glue it in there, and then thread this back into that. Very simple, just complicated. I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing. I've got it in so close, but I indicated on these threads to get it straight. And yeah, there's a teeny bit of movement in the needle, but we're talking just a few thousandths, like 5 thousandths or something. And that's about as close as I can get it. I've gone back and forth, and I'm just chasing my tail. So I'm going to call that straight enough. I've tightened this down already, so everything's good and tight. We're just going to get us a hole drilled through here and get it threaded. Well, I'm about ready to do a center drill on this. I'm supposed to have an 8.7 millimeter drill for this, but I don't have one. I've got an 8 and I got a 9. So I'm going to use an 8 and see how that goes. But first we got to get her center drilled. Seems pretty good. Alright, so let's take the 8 millimeter drill and see if we can drill all the way through that bolt. I hope we can.
The day I met her on the mountain in the fall,
Actually, now I think about it, I don't have to drill all the way through this. I'm just going to make sure I'm in far enough, because we're going to cut this off at about, I don't know, just where those shiny part of the threads are. We're going to be cutting this off anyway. So I just have to make sure I'm in that deep or deeper. Now I'm fully aware that at 8.7, 9 would be closer than just 8. I get that. But a lot of times these holes get wallowed out a little bit. So I thought I'd start with this and see if I can tap it. I would say the odds are slim that I'm going to be able to tap this, but you just never know. So we'll take the bit out and we'll put in the tap. And I don't expect to tap this by power. I just don't want to break the tap off. I've only got one. So I just want to do it by hand. Let's see, we want this to float. And we'll start screwing it in by hand here like this. And see if it's going to tap. And I kind of don't think it's going to. Doesn't even look like it's starting in there. So probably going to have to go to the 9. That doesn't even look like it's trying to start. I don't think it is. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go to the 9 for sure. It may be too big with a 9, but we can always do another one if this don't work. Alright, I've got the 9 bit in here. Get it up close. Anchor her down. Turn it on and see if we can ream it out. Yeah, I know that's deep enough. All right, let's try it again. Let's put the tap back in and see if it's going to tap okay. I kind of think it'll be all right. It's probably not the best option, but it's the option I have.
Come springtime, we were married in a church house.
It's starting to spin the tap, so I think what I'm going to do is take it out, put it in the vise, do it by hand so I don't break something. Alright, I've got my small tap wrench here, and that way I don't put too much stress on it. It seems like it's tapping easy actually. You know, we got it going in there straight with the lathe, and so that helps when you get them going in straight. I think it's going to work. May be a little loose, you know, by the time we're done it may actually be loose on these threads, but stuff happens, you know. You got to do what you got to do. Put a little oil on it.
Our love grew the summer long. Little did I know, my sweet Melinda.
Yeah, they're not very deep threads, that's for sure. Let's see how this is going on here before we go any further. Yeah, it's pretty loose. It's pretty darn loose. Doggone it. But it probably will work. Like I said, we could always make this again if we had to, get the right bit. But for now, I'm just going to go with it and see how it works. It's better than not having a handle, and I think it'll at least work.
Once your dear, she would be gone. My sweet Melinda of the mountain, I recall.
It's in there pretty far, but I don't know if it's far enough or not. I'm just going to go ahead and run it down in there one more time. If we do that, then it ought to be good enough, I would think.
The day I met her
think we're as good as we're going to do. I'm going to blow that out with some air. Well, this next step is debatable, and I'm debating on whether I'm doing the right thing or not, but I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this in here with Loctite. I think I'm just going to take it over to the saw and saw it off, and bandsaw that is, and saw this off. And I think I can put it in there and tighten it up and make it work. I've already cleaned the threads internally and externally with brake cleaner and dried them off. So they should be good to go. Now, you know, just before, literally before we turned the camera on, I squeezed this and it came out. Now I can't hardly make it come out. All right, that's good. Plenty of it there. All right, so we're going to start. I'm going to put it in, take it out, make sure we're getting it all down in there real good. Screw it in and screw it out a couple of times like that to make sure the threads are really being covered good, and they are. I can see. And I think I've got it as tight as I'm going to get it, probably by hand already. Wipe off the extra juice. Just take these and see if I can tighten it up a little bit more. That's good and snug. That's not going to go anywhere. Didn't create any problem. Okay, so I'll take it over to the bandsaw now, and I'm just going to saw it off even with the edge of this. And then we'll probably have to clean up the internal thread a little bit, but that shouldn't be hard to do. I'm already fully aware that this is going to want to spin when I saw this off. I know that. So I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but I know that for sure. It's going to want to spin. So I'm trying to find the right thickness here to put this bolt head on, and that'll help. Here we go. There you go. That's not too bad. Let's go see if we can get her cleaned up and make her work. So what I'm going to do is just take the tap and try to run it in by hand and clean these threads up. There we go. I think we might have hit it. Yep, just hit it. There we go. We got her now. She's threading all the way in by hand. Got to be honest though, these threads are loose. I knew they would be. One option, I guess, would be to put some thread locker in there on this part. Don't really want to do that, but I might have to. So here we go. Does it screw on? A little wobbly looking, but I think it was bent before, honestly. Yeah, that's screwed on good and tight, really tight. That's going to be way better than it was because it was just threads into plastic before. So let's go put it on the machine and we'll show you how it works. Alright, we'll put this back on. I should have paid more attention to how this came off, but I think it goes like I'm getting ready to do it here. We'll see. You know, whenever there's a 50-50 chance, there's about a 125% chance I'll get it wrong. Alright, so now we'll put our part back on. I thought I stripped it when I was putting it on there, but it just hit a hard spot and then it got real easy. And I thought, oh no, I stripped it. But no, it's very tight now. We'll let that set and that Loctite will get really you know, good and hard over time. And it should be fine. So this is how it works. You slide it along like this, and then you lock it in place, and it won't move. See, you can move the whole saw now. So it's really handy, and it's very accurate too. It's got a very fine ruler and a fine mark right here. So it works really good. Very glad to have that fixed again. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this little short video. If you did, give me that thing right there, that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting on? Get it in gear and get that done. Thank you. We'll see you on the next video.